So the first time I went to TriStar, like this is the second time I've done a series of, well, I did one class there before and then this is a consecutive series. So yeah, I was saying that the first time it was like he split up the group, um, and then there was like beginners and then there was his advanced class, but I couldn't like learn from him because it was like separated because he would only teach the advanced class. So before I was going, I emailed them like, "Hey, can I take part in the advanced class? And like, which classes does Frost train? Because it'd be kind of dumb if like, when you get like too big and then you just don't train anyone. It's just more like your name is there.
Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, like I run the gym, I own the gym, but like I'm actually not teaching anyone because like it's beyond my time. I just focus on pros. So that's what I thought. I was like, oh, he's probably just gonna like focus on his pro team, right? So then I emailed them and they're like, no, he teaches most of the advanced classes. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I went on the Tuesday, drove up in the morning, did the advanced class he taught, and then I did the next day, lunchtime, he taught again. And then I did the nighttime, but at a different gym because I had heard about this other one that like GSP trains at. And like I did that one. And then the last two classes on the Thursday, I did at TriStar. He just didn't teach the very last class. I guess he was doing something. But it's funny because we all look at it like this is, and don't get me wrong, like when I say this, it's like it lived up to the hype. So
Mm-hmm.
like we all look at it and we're like, oh, that's like a pro team. That's like TriStar or whatever, whatever. And like, only the best of the best go. Like GSP, the goat of MMA. I think Khabib's the goat, but like everyone says GSP's the goat. But GSP is from there, right? And like you go there and you're like, it feels like an old school boxing gym. So the first day I was disenfranchised because I was like, I like did the class and I was like, ooh, this is like weird. Like, why are we learning non-basic maneuvers? Because I was trying to get like France to come. I was like, yeah, just come with me, whatever, whatever. Because he wanted to meet up in Montreal. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna spend all my time here, whatever. And I was like, after that class, I was like, dude, don't come. Like, this is not for you. This is not a beginner.
Right,
Like
right.
the stuff we're doing. I was like, I can keep up because I have the experience and the body awareness. But like, you would be like, why are we doing this? This makes no
Sure, sure.
sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And I really think that the best foundation is Gracie Jiu Jitsu because they've laid it out so linearly. Like when I first started Jiu Jitsu, it was like at this one sports school, and then like it kind of made sense, but not really,
Mm-hmm.
And then like I trained with Carlos, and then that was just like full blast, like whatever he wanted to do, we did. But then like Gracie
Yeah.
Jiu Jitsu was like a linear progression,
Mm-hmm.
and like that it kind of gives you like the bedrock, and
Yeah.
then you're like, okay, let me see where else I can take this, right? So like after understanding the base concepts, it's like, all right, let's push the boundaries now. And it's interesting because it's like there. Remember how we were talking about commercialization
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like how every like the Gracie's very commercial. Everyone come, let's all learn jujitsu together. Like totally, yeah, for sure, for sure. But like, but what if you want to take it to the next level? Where do you go for that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, so there's like Gracie Jiu Jitsu, which is very commercial. And I'd say TriStar is like at the other end where it's like you get it or you don't, but I'm just going to give you the best of my knowledge. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's no hand holding. He's going to show you the move. He's going to explain it thoroughly, but it's up to you to like really figure it out. He's
Mm-hmm.
not like, he's not going around being like, hey, you should change this. Oh, adjust this. Like maybe to like one or two people, but not really. He like, after he shows the move, he'll sit down in the corner and just wait and just observe people and then he'll add on to the move. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's very pro. It's like, if you're here to work. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I would say in the middle is like 10th Planet, where it's like a little of both. You get like some crazy dudes who know some insane stuff, but then you get the friendliness. So it's like a best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But there are no kids classes at TriStar. It's like you're here to work,
Mm-hmm.
And like I like how when you before he starts the class, he just like stands there with his arms crossed waiting for the time to start. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
literally just like, oh, we're working. Okay, cool, we're working, And like then like he'll clap, He'll be like, "Hey, everyone, pay attention. All right, here's the first move." You know what I mean? It really feels like almost like a wrestling gym. I'm not too sure, like a boxing gym. It's very like grimy too. I was talking to one guy, and like he was like from the UK, and he's like, "Yeah, why'd you come here? Whatever, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, when we first came, it's kind of like, what are we doing here?" Because it feels so like, oh, this is like grimy, not dirty, but like rough. Not rough. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like it's not rough. Like nobody was going hard. Like they were going hard, but they weren't like trying to kill you. But it's like sweat is on this mat. You know, it's like I love it though. It's like
No, I would. Would it
serious.
be like, I don't know. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is just like boot camp ish, but not
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
right. Yeah.
Maybe. Yes. That's a good comparison. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Whereas like the H2O MMA, the second place where I went, it was almost trying to be like kind of friendly a little bit because pros train there too. So it was like serious but friendly.
Mhm.
But like this was like serious and cordial.
Right.
You know, like not friendly, cordial.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hello, how are you? All right, cool. You know, let's get to work, you know? And it's funny because having been to so many gyms, you know, like 10th Planet is so friendly. That's why I love it. Like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Where are you from? You know, like that's just the culture. This one is like we're not really here to talk. And then the people that were there to talk were complaining about. So the last day there was two people I trained with, and I was like, oh, whatever. They're like trying to show me stuff, and they're like, oh, what belts are you? I'm like, oh, blue belt. And then they're like, yeah, we're purple belts. So we've been training for like 15 years. And I'm like, oh, damn, that's a long time, bro. And then he's like, yeah, we're just hoping that one day Frost will give us our brown belts. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then as we're trying to rep, I'm trying to rep. I'm like, yeah, I'm just here to rep. They just have a conversation. They're just like talking and they're not repping. I'm like, that's why he's not giving you the brown belt, bro. Because
Mm.
Frost is very serious, you know? And like, if you're talking, it's like, why are you here then? You know, I'm here to rep, you know? And then it's funny because like they're showing me some tricks, but as we're going, like as we're doing the demos of the moves, you can feel like, oh, you're not that good. There's a lot of space here. I can escape, right? So we roll, and then the guy's like, I'll show you something, bro. I'll show you something. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I just like controlled him, and he couldn't sub me, and he got pissed. And I'm like, yeah. And then they saw me go after certain people because I'm like, oh, I want to feel like how hard
Yeah.
this thing
Right.
is, right? And then like I went over to this guy. I asked the one guy like, how do you know who's a pro here or like who's like serious? And they're like, you can't really tell because nobody's wearing anything, but like usually they hang out on that mat and whatever. So I'm like, I'm going to that mat. So like, I go there and then I roll with this one dude and we're like kind of at a stalemate. He can't sub me. The time ends. And then the dude was like, one of the two dudes was watching us, and then he like whispers to another guy. He said he was a freaking brown belt. So he said he was a freaking blue belt, bro. But I was like moving not like a blue belt, right?
Right.
And they're just
Right.
like,
Right.
what the hell? But it's like, yeah, but we're like, why else did you come? You know, everyone's like, yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
here for Frost. I'm like, yeah, like we're here for Frost. Like we really want the seriousness, right? So, anyways, I like how Frost's like techniques are very like he'll do the move and he'll ask you, can you move in this position? No? All right, we're gonna keep going. Like it's very analytical and scientific. I really like that. But like, um, it's not for everyone. It's like I realized coming back, I was like, it's like I left the cave and I was like, dude, there's a whole world out there. And then you come back and you're like, oh, we don't really get what this jujitsu thing is. Like most people, like
Sure.
because
Sure.
they
Yeah.
Tara,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because Tara's like, oh, most people just do it for a hobby. You're taking it way too seriously, and I'm like, am I, or am I with that crowd that's taking it seriously?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it's weird because so I taught yesterday. I don't know if you saw where I was wearing the coat.
No. No. No.
All right, so like I was teaching, and like everyone was like, don't deny the gi, whatever. Like, we live in Canada, and I'm like, I'm telling you, like, it's not gonna work, right? And they're like, whatever. So then that was like last week, and then I went to TriStar, and then I came back this week. But I went to Montreal testing my moves. I'm like, is this gonna work or not? Like, I'm gonna really pressure test. Like, I'm gonna keep everything the same. I'm not gonna try anything. And they were working there. I was literally keeping up. So I was like, all right, cool. This will work. So then, like, I put on my coat yesterday, and then they were trying to like, I was like, throw me. And then he couldn't throw me. I'm like, just very simple moves, just like, all right, frame the hip, keep distance,
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I'm like, so where's this whole like gi mis like You know, it was
Right,
oh the
right,
gi.
right.
If you're wearing a coat, they're gonna. And I'm like, I'm wearing a coat. Grab it. And like,
Hmm.
and then he couldn't grab it, and then I let him grab it, and I'm like, okay, still throw me. He couldn't throw me. I'm like, so why? Because it's like your jujitsu's not good,
Right.
you know. But again, these are people. Well, that dude was a blue belt, but that was trying to throw me. But then like the other people were not jujitsu people, and it's funny because I could tell that it was like, oh, this is chaotic. Because I was like demoing. I'm like, all right, and really take me down, bro. And then like we kind of got interrupted. Like, all right, enough. But I'm like, no, it looks crazy, but I'm telling you, I was in full control. Like, it's just
Hmm.
he looks crazy. He tried so hard, and I'm just like, oop, nope, not working. Oop, nope, not working. You know. But like, it looks like two angry dogs fighting, but I'm like not even fighting. I'm just like, settle down, dog. You know.
Hmm.
And so then like we were doing this one move where like you had to you had to like pull somebody to the ground a little bit, and then my partner kind of fell, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then I realized something, and then I start explaining and teaching everyone. Nobody knows how to catch their balance. Like
Hmm.
most people don't know how to catch it. If I push you, you don't know how to regain your balance. And the whole class was really just me trying to show you how to like regain your balance. And it's
Right.
like if most people are at that level and I'm like trying to push myself to this level, it's like, dude, what like on the street, what problem would I have?
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, it like I kind of had that click in my because like you're like, oh, I'm gonna get murked at TriStar, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm keeping up. What are we doing? You know, and then like, no, okay, cool. How do I teach like non-jujitsu people the basics of jujitsu, like the principles? I'm like, dude, most people are at an insane deficit.
Hmm.
Like there's this line where it's like, learn to swim or you're gonna drown. So like the Gracies, they're like the ground is our ocean. When you hit the ground, you have no idea what you're doing and you're just drowning and we're just like we're a shark in the ocean. I see it now because it's like even standing, like I pushed this one guy over, he fell over. I'm like, "What? How are you
Hmm.
falling, bro?" I just put your foot back and like, "Oh." And then it was like a light bulb moment when I started to make them feel it. They're like, "Oh, I can feel the base and like the positioning." And it's just like, "Oh, dude, you have a far way to go." Like if this is
Right. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't even teach you chokes or anything or like how to armbar you, like, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
it's like 99% of the world. And then this is what I was telling them after. It's like, you really don't need to know much jujitsu to protect yourself. And I can say, like, before, they would always say that, like, jujitsu, you don't need too much. Like that's what the
Hmm.
Gracies would always
Hmm.
say. And you're like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? But then like when you get to that level of like it's more like my motor skills are there,
Hmm.
you really don't need because people don't even have motor skills. You know what I'm saying? Like once you learn how to like use your body in like a proprioceptive way, like my body in relation to your body, people
Yeah.
don't they don't even understand that concept.
Hmm.
And it's just like, oh, okay. Well, there's nothing to fear now, you know?
Right.